Hello everyone. So in this class, we will discuss about the classes like amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and aves. Okay. So you studied about the general characters of chordata, the classification of the phylum chordata, and in majorly the vertebrate, you studied about the characters of vertebrates, and the vertebrata, the subphylum is majorly divided into two divisions like agnatha and gnathostomata. Gnathostomata is further divided into two superclasses like the superclass Pisces. So that includes osteichthyes and chondrichthyes, that is bony fishes and cartilaginous fishes. And whereas the other superclass is what is called as tetrapoda. So the superclass tetrapoda that includes major four classes like amphibians, reptiles, aves, and mammals. So let us study about the amphibians, the general characters and classification of amphibians. Okay. So amphibians are nothing but the animals which are able to survive both in terrestrial as well as in aquatic habitats. Amphi means both. Those animals which are able to survive in terrestrial habitat as well as in aquatic habitat, they were what is called as amphibians. Okay. So let us look into the general characters of the phylum Amphibia. So amphibians are the first cold-blooded vertebrates. Okay, it means from the evolutionary point of view, first formation ಆದಂತ cold-blooded animals. Okay, so they are the first cold-blooded vertebrates from evolution point of view which came to the land. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದಂತ first cold-blooded animals. Whereas the first cold-blooded animals are fishes. Okay, but they are found in the aquatic habitat, but the first form of the animal life which came into the terrestrial habitat having the cold blood, that is the amphibians. Hence they are the first cold-blooded vertebrates from the evolution of point of view. They came to the land. Okay, so the amphibia, the class that includes nearly 3,000 species. There are 3,000 different species of amphibians that can be seen. Okay, so they are the animals which are amphibious in nature. Amphibious means they can live on land as well as in water. So they can survive both in land as well as in water. Hence they were what is named as amphibians. Okay. So they are mostly found in warm countries. The amphibians are mostly found in warm countries. So they are ectothermic in nature. It means they are the cold-blooded animals. Ectothermic antandre, the temperature of the animal body that depends upon the external condition, the external temperature. Andre ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲೂ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, so it means in the environment, if it increases, the body temperature also increases. If the temperature in the external environment, if it is decreases, the body temperature also decreases. So that's why they are said to be ectothermic animals. Ecto means their body temperature is depends upon the environmental condition, especially the temperature in the environment. Okay, so they are amphibious in nature. It means they can survive both in land as well as in water, and usually they are found in the warm countries. Okay, so they are ectothermic or cold-blooded animals. Remember, they are the first cold-blooded animals. They come to the land. Okay, so the body of the amphibians is majorly divisible into. The body is divided into head, trunk, and tail region. Okay, the body is divisible into head, trunk, and tail. Tail may be present in some forms, but majorly the body is divided into head and trunk. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ tail ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Not all amphibians are showing the tail, but the body is majorly divided into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some amphibians. Okay. Then the next character is about the skin. See, this is a major character of the class Amphibia. The skin is smooth or rough, having glands which keep it moist. The amphibians, all amphibians, they have a moist skin. Okay, so it will be helpful for them to survive both in land as well as in water, as are found in both the environmental conditions. So the skin should be maintained with the moisture. So hence they have a moist skin, that is mainly because of the presence of glands on their skin surfaces. Skin may be smooth or it may be rough. But having glands is a major character, and always skin remains moist. That's why it also helps in cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration means the respiration that takes place with the help of the skin or that through the skin. It is what is called as the cutaneous respiration. So the moisture of the skin that will be favors the cutaneous respiration. Andre skin moisture irantadu cutaneous respiration favor ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so that is the important character of the class Amphibia. Okay, so then they are usually without scales. This is also one important thing. So amphibian skin do not possess a scale. The amphibians are usually without scales, so that you remember that is one important thing about the amphibians, usually without scales, but if present, they are hidden beneath the skin. But in some forms, like Scalians. Okay, so where salients, which are where scales are present, but the scale is found beneath the skin. Skin ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ scale. Skin under surface ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but not on the surface. But usually, almost all amphibians where the skin is devoid of scales. It means skin is without the scales. Okay. Paired fins are absent. So just like in fishes, the fishes are characterized by the presence of paired fins, isn't it? So here, but in case of amphibia, paired fins are absent. Unpaired fins may be present, maybe idru irbodu. Unpaired, some forms they show unpaired fins, but paired fins are absent. Instead of fins, they're having two pairs of limbs that is used for locomotion, except calions. Okay, calceons. So instead of fins, they're having limbs for locomotion, but except caseons where the limbs is absent. Even limbs are also absent in calceons. Okay. The gills are present at least in the larval stages. The adults are not showing the gills, but the gills are found in the larval stages, at least in the larval stages. Gills are the respiratory structures majorly found in the fishes, but here, in case of amphibians, the adults usually not showing the gills, but exception for some. But the gills are found in the larval stages. Some adult forms also carry external gills in addition to lungs. Andre ಕೆಲವೊಂದು adult forms ಅಲ್ಲಿ lungs ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲಿ gills ಸಹ ಇರುತ್ತೆ respiration ಗೆ. Okay, so that is what is called as examples like Necturus and Proteus. Necturus and Proteus are the amphibians that are showing gills in adult stage also. Okay. Then the next thing is about skull is dicondylic. Dicondylic means with two occipital condyles for articulation with vertebral column. Dicondylic skull ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the skull possessing the two protuberance. Protuberance ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು outgrowth ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ outgrowth ನ ನಾವು occipital condyle ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, the skull possessing the two outgrowth. ಎರಡು protuberance ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು outgrowth ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು finger like projections ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ occipital condyles ಅಂತ. I will show the diagram. Occipital condyle ಅಂತೀವಿ. So function ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ which helps in attachment of the skull with the vertebral column. It connects the skull with the vertebral column. Skull ನ vertebral column ಜೊತೆಗೆ connect ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Hence skull is said to be dicondylic. So such a type of skull is found in amphibians and mammals. Mammals ಮತ್ತೆ amphibians ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so where we can see dicondylic skull. So it means dicondylic ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು occipital condyles ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Occipital condyle is nothing but the two protuberances or the outgrowths of the occipital bone. Skull ಅಲ್ಲಿ occipital bone ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಎರಡು ಪ್ರೊಟ್ರೂಬರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಔಟ್ಗ್ರೋತ್, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಪಿಟಲ್ ಕಾಂಡೈಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಲ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ವರ್ಟೆಬ್ರಲ್ ಕಾಲಮ್. ವರ್ಟೆಬ್ರಲ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸ್ಕಲ್ ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಆರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇಜರ್ಲಿ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್. Respiratory organs are majorly the lungs. Buccopharyngeal respiration. Buccopharyngeal cavity means the respiration also takes place through the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity as well as means the oral cavity as well as with the pharynx. ಎರಡು ಸೇರಿ respiration ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Lungs in the respiration ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Skin and gills. Okay. If respiration takes place through lungs, it is what is called as pulmonary respiration. Respiration through the lungs, it is said to be pulmonary respiration. If the respiration takes place through the skin, it is said to be cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. And if it takes place through the gills, it is what is called as pharyngeal respiration. Okay. So it means all the three kinds of respiration can be seen, that is through the lungs as well as through the buccal cavity as well as through the skin and also through the gills. Okay. And the another major character about the amphibians, that is heart is three-chambered. They have three-chambered heart. I will show the diagram. Heart is three-chambered. Okay, so having two auricle and one ventricle. Heart is three-chambered. Remember, in amphibians, heart is three-chambered, having two auricles and one ventricle. Two auricles are present and one ventricle is present. In the heart, there are present sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus. Sinus venosus ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ mainly it can act as a pacemaker of the heart. Pacemaker ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ heart pump ಗೆ help ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, and majorly that opens into the auricles. Auricle ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, open up ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And also the truncus arteriosus. Truncus arteriosus ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it will carry the impure blood. Impure blood ನ carry ಮಾಡಂತ major vessel. ಅದು the truncus arteriosus. The sinus venosus that can act as a pacemaker. ಅಂದ್ರೆ heart pumping ಅಲ್ಲಿ help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು the sinus venosus. truncus arteriosus means that will carry the impure blood. Impure blood na carry ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Okay. So heart is three chambered, remember, two auricles with one ventricle. So both hepatic portal and renal portal systems are well developed. Hepatic portal system antandre the blood vessels which supply to the liver, and renal portal system means the blood vessels which supplies to the renal system, means the kidney or the excretory system. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ supply ಮಾಡಂತ blood vessel plus along with that the blood vessels which supplies to the liver. So that is what is called as hepatic portal and renal portal system. Okay, so are present. They are well developed. RBCs are biconvex. RBCs are biconvex in shape, oval and nucleated. So nucleus is found in the RBC. Usually, in case of the mammals, where the RBCs are usually enucleated, it means the matured RBCs are enucleated. But whereas in case of the amphibians, the RBCs are nucleated. They have nucleus inside the RBC. Okay. Then, see, this is the heart of the amphibians. So where you can see the three chambers. These are the two auricles you can see here. The two auricle, the right auricle and the left auricle, two auricle. And this is a truncus arteriosus. As I said, the truncus arteriosus that majorly carry the impure blood, its power. Then the ventricle, and here there is a mixing of both the pure and impure blood. Pure and impure blood means the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. It means the blood with the oxygen and blood without the oxygen. So here it can be mixed together. And here you can see sinus venosus. Okay, so left auricle, the right auricle, then right precaval. This is a sinus venosus. You can see here the larger one is what is called as the sinus venosus. Okay. So here the heart of the amphibians, it is three chambered. You can see three chambered heart, two auricles and one ventricle, majorly with the truncus arteriosus and the sinus venosus. Okay. And the next thing is kidneys are mesonephric. Kidneys are mesonephric in nature. Mesonephric kidneys means, so they are, that is nothing but the major excretory structures found in the kidneys. So usually it is found in the aquatic organisms like the fishes and also in amphibians. But in case of mammals, the advanced mammals like human beings, so where it can be seen in embryonic stages of development, but later it get changes to metanephric. But mesonephric kidneys are the major excretory structures which are found in the aquatic animals. Aquatic animals alliranta ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿರೋಂಥ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಮೀಸೋನೆಫ್ರಿಕ್ ಕಿಡ್ನೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್. ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಾಗ್. ಫ್ರಾಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಾಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಸ್ ಅ ಯೂರಿನ್. Frog, larvae and tailed amphibians, example salamanders. Salamander is a tailed amphibian. Okay, so larvae and tailed amphibians are ammonotelic. Ammonotelic means which excrete ammonia as their excretory material. Ammonia na excretory material agi excrete ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ usually the larvae are found in water. The larvae, they grow in water. Amphibian larvae ಈಗ toad ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, that usually that grows and develops in water. So water ಅಲ್ಲಿ aquatic habitat ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ they are ammonotelic. It means they eliminate ammonia as a major excretory substance. Because the dilution of ammonia that requires more water. ಬೇರೆ ಮೂರು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಯೂರಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದ ಅಮೋನಿಯಾ ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಅಮೋನಿಯಾ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ when compared to urea and uric acid. Okay, so hence it needs more amount of water. So that can be seen only in aquatic animals, because as they are found in water, there is no problem for them to absorb more water to dilute ammonia. Hence they excrete the ammonia as a waste material or an excretory material. Okay, so whereas frogs and toads are ureotelic. Frogs and toads which are ureotelic. Ureotelic means they eliminate uric acid. Okay. Next, about the digestive system, the alimentary canal, urinary and reproductive tracts opens into a common chamber called as cloaca. So see, they are having a very much common opening for the egestion of the undigested food material. It means the excretory material, egestion of the excretory material. Then the urinary system, egestion of the urine, and also the reproductive tract. All of them, there is a common opening for all the three channels. That is what is called as the cloaca. Cloaca is a common path through which the excretory material, it means the waste, undigested waste material, and the urine and the reproductive tract, it means the gametes are also released into the cloaca. Hence cloaca is a common opening. So you remember this point. This is also important about the amphibians, presence of cloaca. Okay, which opens outside through the cloacal aperture. Andre on the opening in the open aಗುತ್ತೆ, that is what is called as the cloacal aperture. And cloaca is a common path for urinogenital and also for digestive waste. Digestive waste transport ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ urinogenital opening ಎರಡೂನು ಕಾಮನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲೋಯಕ. ಒಂದೇ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂರಿಂದನೂ ಸೇರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಯರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಇಯರ್. ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಇಯರ್ ದಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಇಯರ್. ಟಿಂಪ್ಯಾನಮ್ covers the middle ear. It means tympanum is nothing but the outer membrane of the middle ear, so that usually covers the middle ear. Tympanic membrane, that is also one of the unique feature of the class amphibia, where the tympanic membrane is present, that covers the middle ear. The eyes have eyelids but without eyelashes. Eyes, they are having eyelids but eyelashes are absent. Eyelashes iralla. So nictitating membrane is well developed. See, nictitating membrane means this is a membrane that covers the eyes. Eyes in a cover madanta on the translucent membrane, a transparent or a translucent membrane which covers the eyes and which closes and which opens. Okay, so helps in covering the eyes. Eyes na cover madadralli help madanta membrane, the nictitating membrane. So that is well developed in amphibians. Okay, so eyes, they are having eyelids but without eyelashes. Eyelashes iralla. Nictitating membrane is present, and that nictitating membrane is well developed in amphibians. So it is a membrane, a transparent or a translucent membrane, helps in opening of the eyes, opening and closing of the eyes. Okay. Then the next thing, so see here, you can see the two occipital condyles. You can see here, this is the skull of an amphibian. Here you can see two occipital condyles. See here, occipital condyle. This is present here, occipital condyle, and this one, the two protuberances you can see here from the occipital lobe of the skull. Skull na occipital lobe inda bandiruvanta ಎರಡು occipital condyle. One this idondu. Okay, you can see here in this picture, you can see the two occipital condyle. Hence it is said to be, the skull is said to be dicondylic skull. Okay. Then lateral line system is present. Lateral line system means the presence of, usually it is found in aquatic animals. Usually aquatic animals alli matte amphibian larva nalli iruvanta system idu. Lateral line system means the presence of the sensory organs along the lateral surface of the body. Body, ನೀವು fish body ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ the body of the fish is laterally compressed. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ lateral side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಶಲಿ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್. ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೈಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ there is any vibrations in water, ವಾಟರ್ ವೈಬ್ರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟರ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ, ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆದ್ರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so then they can identify that. Suppose if any animal suppose if it visits to water, then the water vibrations will increases, isn't it? The disturbances of the water that takes place. So that is recognized by the lateral line system. Okay, so that is found in amphibian larvae. Okay, and also in fishes. So that is usually the aquatic character. It means they can identify the disturbances in water. Water ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ disturbances identify ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಫಿಶಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಸಪೋಸ್ the human beings if they visit to water, ಈಗ ನಾವು ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಫಿಶಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, they start moving. So the dispersed, sudden ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, disperse ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It means they can identify something has entered to water, maybe dangerous. For that they disperse, isn't it? So such a mechanism is found in amphibian larvae as well as in aquatic animals. Okay, that is the lateral line system is present. Then 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. It means the nerves which are major nerves arises from the cranium, the head region in the major agi arise aganta, the brain that leads to the 10 pairs of cranial nerves. That is a major thing. Okay, remember. Fertilization is external. Usually fertilization is external because male and female gametes are released to water body. So where in the water the fertilization takes place, then they require water for their fertilization. Hence fertilization is said to be external, except however in salamander and ichthyopus fertilization is internal. There are exceptions like salamander and ichthyopus where fertilization is internal. It means the fusion of gametes takes place within the body of the female body nalli fertilization agutte. Okay, so they are mostly oviparous. It means they lay the eggs. However, salamandra is a viviparous. It means it gives birth to the young ones. So however, salamandra is viviparous, but most of them they are oviparous in nature. Development is mostly indirect. Indirect means it includes the larval stages. Okay. they return to water for breeding. It means once the breeding season occurs, means the reproductive season occurs, so they from the land habitat they returns to water for breeding. So where males lack copulatory organs, males ಅಲ್ಲಿ copulatory organs ಇರಲ್ಲ. So that is also the important thing. Copulatory organ means an organ that is responsible for the transfer of the gametes, the male gametes into the female genital tract. That is what is called as a copulatory organ. That copulatory organ is absent, hence fertilization is external. Okay. So metamorphosis is usually present, means the conversion of larva into adult. So that is usually present. A fish-like larva, the tadpole is present. A fish-like larva, the tadpole is present. So it resembles fishes in its appearance. Okay, that is what is called as a tadpole larva. They occur in freshwater and moist land. Amphibians are not in marine forms. Okay, so amphibians, they're not found in marine water, but there are some exceptions. Only few species of amphibians they're found in marine water, but majority of the species of amphibians they're found in freshwater, as well as in a moist land. Not too in a dry land. They're found in a moist land and they're found in a freshwater, but only few number of the species they're found in marine habitat. Okay. Then the next thing is about the classification of the class Amphibia. See, the living amphibians are divided into 3 orders. Order 1, Apoda or Gymnophiona or Celia. Okay, so order 1, Apoda, it means A means absence, Poda means limbs. Okay, so they are nothing but the limbless amphibians. They are the limbless. So Apoda means the limbless. Okay, so limbs ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋಂಥ amphibians. Scales are present. So ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಜನರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ the scale is found in some of the forms but it is embedded ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. Okay, scale Ureotyphus, Ichthyophis, Ureotyphus and Ichthyophis. They are called blind worms or caecilians. Okay, so they're called blind worms or caecilians. Okay, so they are limbless. Apoda limbs iralla, Ichthyophis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ Ureotyphus ಅಲ್ಲಿ limbs iralla. So that's why they are called as blind worms. ಅಂದ್ರೆ blind worms ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ. So the next one is the order Urodela. The next thing is about the order Urodela. It is also known as Chordata. Tail is present. So here the tail is present. Example Necturus. Okay, mud puppy anta ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ Necturus. Then Amphiuma, Congo eel, Salamandra, Proteus, Siren. These are the examples for the class Urodela. Okay, Siren, Ambystoma, Triturus, then Tylotrition, crocodile invet anta ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Okay, so these are some examples for the order Urodela. Then the order 3, Anura. So it is also called as Salientia, without tails. Anura means these animals without tails, amphibians without tails. Example Rana. Rana tigrina means the common frog, frog, the kappe antivalla adu. Then Rhacophorus, Buffo, Hyla, Hylitis, Xenopus, African toad and Pipa. So these are the examples for the order Anura. Okay. Here you can see some animals of amphibia. Okay, so this is Amphiuma. Then Nvet. The previous slide, seen here, Amphiuma, Urodela, tail is present. Okay, so and here you can see the Triturus, Nvet. You can see here, Nvet or Triturus. See the tail here. The tail is present in both the forms, which comes under Urodela. Then monkey frog, which comes under Anura. All these frogs which comes under the order Anura. Monkey frog, then the common frog, then dart frog. You can see the many number of dots on its surface. Then tree frog, it can climb the tree. Then mossy frog, it looks like a greenish in appearance, like the growth of mosses on its surface. Mossy frog. Okay, so these are the different species of the class Amphibia. Okay, so this is all about the general characters of the class Amphibia. The major thing, they're found in both water as well as in terrestrial habitat. So where the skin is moist and consists of the glands on the surfaces of the skin. They show 3 kinds of respiration, like cutaneous respiration, pulmonary respiration, and pharyngeal respiration. So gills are usually found in the larval forms, whereas in adults the gills are absent. But however, some forms they're having the gills. The body is majorly divided into head and trunk. So tail is absent, but some of the forms also shows tail like Nvet and Amphiomum. They show the tail. So heart is three-chambered, consists of two auricles and one ventricle. Three-chambered heart is present. So lateral line system is found in the larval forms. Okay, it means the sensory organs, the tactile sensory organs are found on the lateral surface of the body. So this is the major characters of the class Amphibia. Okay, so then let us look into the next thing about the next group, the class reptiles. Okay, so reptilia is one of the dominant classes in the superclass, what is called as tetrapoda. So there are many number of organisms which can be seen in reptiles. So some of them they are too much dangerous, like deadly poisonous snakes. Okay. So here you can see various animals which comes under the reptiles, which consists of the crocodiles, turtles or tortoise, then snakes, lizards, the garden lizards, the wall lizards. Okay. There are many species that can be seen in reptiles. Okay. Then let us look into the general characters of the class Reptilia. Some general characters which are given here. Reptiles are the creeping and burrowing cold-blooded vertebrates. The reptiles are either creeping. Creeping means tevalontadu. Okay, they are creeping and burrowing. Burrowing means they are found digging the soil and found inside the soil. Burrowing, it means in the burrows. Soil na dig ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಗೂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ animals. So they are creeping and burrowing animals, cold-blooded vertebrates. The first cold-blooded animals which comes to the land, they are amphibians. But the first evolutionary point of view in the Nodaga, first cold-blooded animals, so fishes, then the amphibians, the first cold-blooded animals which enter into the land. Then the next, the second cold-blooded animals, vertebrates on the land, the terrestrial habitat. So they are majorly the reptiles. Okay. So bearing epidermal scales, that is the most important thing. The reptiles where the skin is dry and that bear the epidermal scales. Skin no dry irutte, skin mele epidermal scales na bear madutte. Okay. So they are ectothermic, means the cold-blooded animals, and are found mostly in warmer parts of the world. Andre mostly warmer parts alli iranta animals, yadu reptiles. They are few in colder parts. Andre tumba chali iranta jagadalli cold places alli reptiles usually iralla. Tumba kammi irutte, but their number is very less. But they're usually found in warmer parts of the world. Yake antandre as they are cold-blooded animals ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದಂತ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ವಾರ್ಮರ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಪ್ರಿಫರ್ ಸಚ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ದ ವಾರ್ಮರ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇನ್ ವಾರ್ಮರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್. So they are few in colder parts. They are mostly terrestrial animals. So most of the reptiles they are terrestrial. So, however, some are they can live in water also. There are about 6,000 living species of reptiles in the world. And overall in world there are about 6,000 living species can be seen. Okay. Then skin is dry. This is a major one. Important thing about the reptile. Skin is dry, rough and without glands. Skin lack the glands. And like in amphibians, their skin consists of glands, in amphibia. But here in case of the reptile, skin lack the glands. Hence skin is dry. And it bears a scales, rough scales on its surface. Okay. Bearing epidermal scales are scutes. It means the presence of scales are the scutes. That is the key feature or the characteristic feature of the reptiles. Then the next thing is about snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Snakes ಮತ್ತು lizards ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶೆಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ನಾವು ಎಗ್ ಡೈಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಹಾವು ಪೊರೆ ಬಿಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಅದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔಟರ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಡ್ರೈ ಆಗಿರೋಂಥ ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಿಡೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು, ಔಟರ್ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇರೋಂಥ ಇದನ್ನ ಶೆಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. That process is what is called as ecdysis, the shedding of the older skin. That is what is called as ecdysis. That can be seen in snakes as well as in the lizards. ಹಾವಿನ ಪೊರೆ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಅದು. Okay. They do not respire by means of gills. It means the gills are absent here. The gills they do not respire by means of gills. Respiration always takes place through the lungs. It means they always respire through the lungs. Gills are absent. Ribs helps to expand and contract the body cavity, making the lung respiration more efficient than in amphibian. Andre ribs ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Suppose how we respire, when we respire, the rib cage that moves
in outward ways as well as in inward ways, in sidewise ways. ಹೌದಾನೆ, ನಾವು ಉಸಿರಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಔಟ್ವರ್ಡ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ರಿಬ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈಡ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೈರ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್. Similarly, that type of respiration that can be seen in reptiles also, where ribs helps in expand and contract the body cavity, making the lung respiration more efficient than in amphibians. Okay. And see here, skull is monocondylic here. So only amphibiadally the skull is dicondylic, but here in case of the reptiles the skull is monocondylic, that is with a single occipital condyle. Avagale picture ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, the two protuberances are the outgrowths develops from the occipital bone. So here only one protuberance or only one outgrowth is present. Okay. So hence the skull is said to be monocondylic. ಎರಡಿದ್ದಾಗ ಡೈಕಾಂಡೈಲಿಕ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಒಂದೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ monocondylic ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay. Except in snake. Okay. So where the limbs are pentadactyl limbs, because there is no limbs in snakes, you know. Okay. Snakes are without the locomotory organs, that is the limbs. They are devoid of the limbs. Hence they are adapted for crawling. So, but whereas in the other forms, except snake, in other forms the limbs are pentadactyl limbs. Pentadactyl means limbs means each with the 5 digits. Andre prati limballu 5 digit irutte, with the 5 digits bearing the class ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ತುದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, nail like structure. So bearing the class with the 5 digits. So that is the important thing. Hence they are tetrapodous pentadactyl type. Tetrapodous means having 4 limbs. Pentadactyl means presence of 5 digits in each limb. Prati limballu 5 digit irutte. Hence they are said to be tetrapodous, means 4 limb irutte, then pentadactyl type. Okay. Then heart consists of 2 auricles. Heart is 3 chambered. Here also heart is 3 chambered. Heart consists of 2 auricles and a partially divided ventricle. Ventricle is partially divided, not completely. It is divided into 4 chambers. Now ventricle is not completely divided into 2 chambers. Hence heart still it is 3 chambered. 2 auricles and partially divided ventricle is seen. In crocodiles, you know, heart is 4 chambered, except in cases of crocodile where heart is 4 chambered. That is, it is divided into 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. Okay. Renal portal system is less developed when compared to amphibians, you know, whereas in amphibians the renal portal system and the hepatic portal system is well developed in amphibians, but whereas here, you know, in case of the reptiles, the renal portal system is less developed. Renal portal system means the blood vessels which supplies the kidneys. Okay, the excretory system, that is less developed here. And here also the RBCs are nucleated. It means the RBCs, they consist of nucleus. Usually in mammals, especially in higher animals like the human beings, you know, in mammals where the RBCs are enucleated, it means they lack the nucleus. But whereas in the amphibians and reptiles where the RBCs, they consist of the nucleus. Kidneys are metanephric in nature. So this is an advancement. So what type of kidney you see in amphibia? That is mesonephric kidney, but here the kidneys are metanephric in nature. Urinary bladder may be present. Maybe urinary bladder is present. Crocodiles are ammonotelic. Ammonotelic means they excrete ammonia. Okay, as are majorly found in water, they excrete ammonia. Turtles and alligators are ureotelic. Turtles and alligators are ureotelic. Lizards and snakes are uricotelic. Lizards and snakes are uricotelic. Differences ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಮೋನಿಯಾಗೆ, ಯೂರಿಯಾಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ammonia is more concentrated than urea and uric acid. Urea is concentrated than uric acid. Uric acid is least concentrated or very less concentrated. That depends upon the water availability. ಎಷ್ಟು water availability ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ animals ಅಲ್ಲಿ excretory matter depend ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Suppose if more water is available for them, hence they adapted for ammonotelic mode of excretion. They eliminate ammonia. Suppose if a sufficient quantity of water is available for them, so they adapted for ureotelism. Ureotelism means they eliminate urea. Suppose if they drink very less quantity of water, so if they're adapted for dry habitat adapt agidre, so where they eliminate uric acid. Uric acid is least toxic than ammonia and than urea and ammonia. Ammonia is highly toxic when compared to the two, urea and uric acid. Okay, usually the aquatic animals, they are ammonotelic in nature, but whereas the terrestrial animals, they may be ureotelic or they may be uricotelic. Okay. So presence of 12 pairs of cranial nerves. So that is advancement over the amphibians. So whereas in amphibia 10 pairs of cranial nerves can be seen, but here you know 12 pairs of cranial nerves that can be seen. Okay. Then each ear consists of three pairs, the external, middle, and internal. Three parts are found in each ear, that is the external ear, the middle ear, and the internal ear. Each ear, three parts is found, external, middle, and internal. But whereas in snakes, they do not possess ears. Snakes only ears illa. They do not respond to the sound. Then how can identify by the vibrations of the ground. By ground vibrations, their body that recognize some disturbances on the land surface or some animal or some thing that is coming in their direction. So by that, the ground vibrations they can recognize. Ground vibrations in the recognize ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ snakes. So they do not hear because they do not possess ears. Snakes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ears ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಹಾವಿಗೆ ಪುಂಗಿ ಊದಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹಾವು ಆಡತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸುಳ್ಳು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪುಂಗಿ ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ತುದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಣಿ ತರ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡು ಮಣಿ ತರ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹಾವು ಆಡ್ಸೋರು ಹಾವಿನ ಮುಂದೆ ಆ ಮಣಿನ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಮಣಿನ ನೋಡಿ ಹಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪುಂಗಿ ಸೌಂಡ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ದೇ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ನೇಕ್ಸ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. The lateral line system is altogether absent, but it is found in the amphibians and the fishes in Pisces. But the lateral line system here altogether absent. Andre lateral side alli touch tactile senses eniruttalla, sensory organ concentration illi iralla. Okay, so tortoises feed almost entirely on vegetation. Tortoise they feed almost entirely on vegetation. Some turtles are flesh eaters. Andre ಕೆಲವೊಂದು turtles flesh ತಿಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಿಂತವೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು. All other reptiles are carnivores or insectivorous. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ reptiles ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದಾವೆ they are carnivorous. It means they are the flesh eating or the meat eating animals, or they are insectivorous. It means they eat the insects. Okay, a typical cloaca is present. Here also a typical cloaca is present. It means an opening for urinogenital and also for the elimination of the excretory matter. Cloaca is present. They are mostly oviparous. It means they lay the eggs. Reptiles lay macrolecithal eggs. They are also called polylecithal eggs. Means macrolecithal means the eggs are larger in size and store large amount of yolk. Andre large amount yolk ಅನ್ನು store ಮಾಡಿರೋಂತ eggs. Yolk ಅಂದ್ರೆ is nothing but the reserve food material found inside the egg. Helps in the development of the embryos. Some forms are ovoviviparous. Some forms are ovoviviparous or viviparous. So some can be seen both the ovovivipary as well as a viviparous nature. Okay. So embryonic membranes, chorion, amnion, and allantoins and yolk sac is present, are formed during the development. Andre ee chorion, amnion ಮತ್ತೆ allantois ಮತ್ತೆ yolk sac ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, it is found even in mammals also. Mammals ಅಲ್ಲೂ embryonic development ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, embryo development ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ membrane, fetal membranes ಅಂತ develop ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ chorion, amnion, allantois, yolk sac ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Similar membranes can be seen during their development. Embryo development ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ತರ membranes development ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so ovovivipary means so they give birth to young ones, but there is no nutritional connection. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮದರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಂಗ್ ಒನ್ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನ ovovivipary ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, next the classification of reptiles. The living reptiles are divided into following subclasses. The ancient reptiles ಏನಿದಾವೆ, they're larger ones like the dinosaurs. So nowadays the dinosaurs are totally extinct. No dinosaurs are found on the earth's surface. But at that time, where the dinosaurs are majorly dominated the earth's surface, the reptiles are majorly dominated the earth's surface. Animal kingdom in the reptiles dominate ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು earth surface na. Kingdom plantae and the gymnosperms are dominated on the earth surface at one time. Okay, so the larger gymnospermic plants are found and the larger reptiles were seen at that time. So where larger dinosaurs, but dinosaurs are extinct today. No dinosaurs are found on the earth's surface. Okay, so only the living members are classified here, like Anapsida. Skull has a solid bony roof. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಆಗಿರೋಂಥ ಬೋನಿ ರೂಫ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ರೂಫ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೋ ಟೆಂಪೋರಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಟಿಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆಂಪೋರಲ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟೆಂಪೋರಲ್ ಬೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಲ್ಲ, ಸೈಡ್ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಯೂಟಿಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಓಪನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಕೆಲೋನಿಯಾ. ಅನಾಪ್ಸಿಡಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇರೋದು, ಕೆಲೋನಿಯಾನ ಒಂದೇ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೆಲೋನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟರ್ಟಲ್, ಟೆಸ್ಟುಡೋ ಟಾರ್ಟಾಯ್ಸ್, ಟ್ರಯೋನಿಕ್ಸ್, ಟೆರಾಪಿನ್. ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋಂಥ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಶೆಲ್ ಇರೋಂಥ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಟೆರಾಪಿನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ಟ್ರಿಯೋನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಕಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಬೋನಿ ರೂಫ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Then diapsida, skull has two temporal vacuities. ಇಲ್ಲಿ temporal vacuities ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ temporal vacuities ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ side bones. It includes 3 living orders. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ 3 living order ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು order 1 Rhynchocephalia, example Spinodon. Order 1 Rhynchocephalia, example Spinodon. Tatara, a living fossil. Tatara is considered as a living fossil. Then order 2 Squamata, it includes 2 suborders. Order 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ 2 suborders ಇದೆ. Squamata ಅನ್ನೋದು ಆರ್ಡರ್ 2, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ 2 ಸಬ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಸರ್ಟೀಲಿಯಾ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಾರಿಯಾ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಸಚ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೆಮೇಲಿಯನ್, ಟ್ರೀ ಲಿಸರ್ಡ್. ಕೆಮೇಲಿಯನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಉಸುರುವಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬದಲಾಯಿಸುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು. Then Calotus, garden lizard. Then Hemidactylus, wall lizard. Okay, so these are comes under the suborder Lacertilia. Then the next suborder Ophidia. The suborder Ophidia, class Squamata ನಲ್ಲಿ, the order Squamata ನಲ್ಲಿ 2 suborders ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು Lacertilia, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ lizards ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Then second suborder ಏನಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ snakes ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so Ophidia, example snakes such as Naza, ಅಂದ್ರೆ cobra. Naza ಅಂತೀವಿ, cobra scientific name Naza. Then Bungarus, crate and viper. Okay, so most deadly poisonous snakes they are, crate and the viper. Okay. Then the order 3 Crocodilia, example Crocodilus, crocodile, and alligator, Gravialis. Okay, Gharial means Gravialis is also known as Gharial antare. They have character ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they have thecodont teeth. Thecodont ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the teeth are well settled in socket ಒಳಗಡೆ teeth ಸೆಟಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಥೀಕೋಡಾಂಟ್ ಟೀತ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಹೆಂಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ತರ ಟೀತ್ ಸಾಕೆಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸಾಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಥೀಕೋಡಾಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ದೆನ್ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟೀಸ್, ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದು, ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಇನ್ ರೆಪ್ಟೈಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ರೊಕೊಡಿಲಿಯಾ. ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ. Then a muscular diaphragm analogous to mammals and muscular diaphragm ಇರುತ್ತೆ, that is analogous to mammals. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, mammals they possess the diaphragm ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. diaphragm ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, it's a muscular layer that separates the rib cage from the abdominal region. ಅಂದ್ರೆ thoracic cavity ಮತ್ತೆ abdominal cavity ಎರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು, ರಿಬ್ ಕೇಜ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ abdominal cavity ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ನಾವು ಡಯಾಫ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So that is characteristic to all mammals. So here also it is found a muscular diaphragm analogous to that of mammals. Then 4-chambered heart is present in crocodile. Crocodilia dali heart is 4-chambered. Okay, but whereas in other reptiles the heart is 3-chambered. So this is an exception. And here you can see some examples of the reptiles, the turtle and tortoise. Tortoise are usually larger. Okay, and turtles are usually which are smaller in nature. You can see the pentadactyl limbs with the class. And here also in lizards also, and clearly you can see in crocodile pentadactyl ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 digits ಇದೆ, 5 digit ಅಲ್ಲೂ claw ಇದೆ. And in lizard you can see the class and the 5 digits pentadactyl limbs. Here you can see various examples like turtle, tortoise, chameleon, ಉಸುರುವಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು chameleon, then the skink, then ಹಾರಾಣಿ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು skink, then snakes, then lizards, then gecko, then crocodile. So these are the examples for the class Reptilia. Okay, so class reptiles are majorly characterized by the presence of rough and dry skin that is devoid of the glands, and they are more advanced than when compared to the amphibians. Okay, so this is about the general characters of the class Reptilia and Amphibia. So it will be also asked for 5 marks or 3 marks. Okay, so the important things in next class we will discuss about the next 2 classes like the apes and the mammals. Okay, thank you.